I've said this to leaders both in the Islamic and Arab world and to the world in general. This is a third world war by other means. This brings Muslims, Christians, other religions together in this generational fight that all of us have to be this together. So it's not a Western fight. This is a fight inside of Islam where everybody comes together against these outlaws, so to speak, together. And there's a short-term part of this, which is the military part of the issue. There is the medium part, which is the security element of it. And then there's a long-term element of this, which is obviously the ideological one.
Yes, and the King of Jordan calling this World War III, our fight against terrorism. Joining us now, Jonathan T. Gilliam, former Navy SEAL and FBI agent and President of the United States Continued Service. Always good to see you.
Good to be here. Nice jacket.
I was just going to say I got the same jacket you got. One day we should coordinate when you're going to wear it. All right, let's get on to all this this craziness here. First of all, you were telling me before we started that not Boko Haram, but was it Boko Haram?
Yeah, Boko Haram.
Boko Haram is now
making videos
like ISIS.
Right.
I mean, you would think that they're incapable, but apparently they're not.
Well, let's go back to what the
king
was just saying. You know, I've been saying, not to say that I know more than a king, but
yeah, I think you might.
I have been saying for a long time that this is the first unconventional world war that we've ever had. So it is World War III. Unfortunately, the world hasn't figured that out yet. And if they keep going the way that they're going, the roots are going to be able to spread all around the globe to a much more greater extent than they are right now. And I think he's absolutely right. And I think this Boko Haram shift is kind of, you know, an example of that. You know, before they didn't, none of these groups thought about videos and high production stuff. Now they see what, you know, the reality of, you know, with this world war, same 1,400-year-old tactics, but now they can launch these this terror across the World Wide Web.
You would know the answer to this. You know, if I Google something, the whole government knows what I Googled. If someone tweets something out or whatever that's offensive or dangerous, or their Secret Service supposedly jumps on it right away, which they should. That's good. So if they're posting videos from somewhere, like the original poster or the people making the videos, can't they trace that back to who's actually posting these videos?
Well, you would. Yes and no, because you have to realize that they're getting advanced in their techniques now, and just like us,
they
may have
they hide it,
or backstops to where, you know, they may be telling another guy what to tweet that lives in Kenya, you know, and has nothing to do with it.
Right.
He could live anywhere, Great Britain, you know.
Right.
There's also different types of electronic devices they can use to kind of throw the signal and encrypt where they're actually doing that stuff.
As the war continues, the world war continues. An American blogger hacked to death, which is the MO of Islamic terror, in Bangladesh, you know, and he insulted Islam. So this was retaliation for insulting Islam.
Well, I mean, when are people going to start realizing that if you insult Islam, you know, you're a target?
Right, and you always say, if you're going to do it, you better be prepared.
And you know, just like the Bin Laden shooter, you know, who's a SEAL, you know, I was saying for the longest time, one of the reasons why I would never have done what he did was because now he's a target. And then when Fox had this, you know, this episode, this special on him, you know, they went to Montana, where he's from, and all these different places. They showed the restaurant. That you're just giving these people what they want. You have to realize they're not a bunch of yahoos. They're becoming more and more technically advanced, and they've had 15 years of war overseas against us to learn our tactics, techniques, and procedures.
Benjamin Netanyahu in town. He gave a speech at APEC. He's going to give the speech before Congress tomorrow. Iran is the biggest contributor to terrorism, a promoter of terrorism. They perpetrate terrorism through groups like Hezbollah. Yet our country sits down with them, wants an agreement with them, trusts them, believes them. I mean, how damaging, if they sign an agreement with Iran, will that be on so many different levels?
You know, you just said Hezbollah is one of the biggest promoters. You know who really the biggest promoter is? Our lack of forward thinking and our lack of aggressive stance when it comes to battling this war. You know, we are allowing this stuff to happen. And I say we because the people are not standing up against this. The people are not, you know, making the politicians do this stuff. And I've said the other front on this two-front war that world war we're in is progressive socialism, and they are, you know, infiltrated all these governments, and their MO is to sit back And I sometimes wonder if they want these things to happen so it brings, you know, everybody down to one level.
As has the Muslim Brotherhood infiltrated
It's terrible.
this government.
How can that be? That would be like back in the days of Reagan, we allowed communism to just come in.
Or World War II, somehow
Sure.
Germans. I mean, it's same exact analogy, but you know, if you make it, you're somehow Islamophobic or something, which is insane.
I've been, you know, I just cannot understand. I mean, if you were going to write a novel on how to destroy this country, you would do it from the inside, which is what.
Absolutely. Great to see you, sir,
Good to see you.
as always. All right, folks, up next, the Malzberg panel.